afternoon, friends and neighbors. Tesuichi at the desk. Gosh, it's been a month. With the Saturday Sovereigns finally back to finish the 2067 season. We've got about, 2 months left in this season. We play all of September and then the first week of October. Yeah, so we still got a ways to go. We're at home against the London Doctors, who are a good team. Yes, they are leading the Central by a long shot. So probably not going to be our best effort. Taking a quick look here to see how the league's going. Jim Sanford, Big Jim, love the nickname. Canadian boy from Calgary, 34 home runs, max EV of 120 miles an hour. Shouldn't that be in kilometers, eh? Anyway, I'm just taking a look and seeing who's doing outstanding among Canadians. Lou Pinault from the Colonels, Manny Serrano from the Yellow Jackets. Not like it's doing them much help. Do we have any league leaders? Oh, all three of, or top two of pitchers are in the Kelowna Grizzlies, which is why they're leading the Pacific. You will note the leagues are unbalanced. And that is intentional because if you know anything about Canada, you know how far of a distance it is from the westernmost part of Ontario, like Windsor, London, Hamilton, to the easternmost part of the prairies, like Winnipeg. You will note Thunder Bay, the Lakehead, does not have a team here yet. I have ideas for expansion, but first we actually have to boost our league reputation. I may actually go and turn on automatic league expansion. Do we have? No, we'll give it a few seasons, but at some point we will actually expand. Poor us, we've had a rash of injuries. Brad Haley out for the rest of the season. Dave Glisson, probably not going to extend him if he's going to be banged up. I mean, he was fantastic out of the bullpen, but elbow ligament reconstruction surgery taking him into next year. I feel like we could do better. Roger Monroe should be back soon. Mazel tov. There is a foreign player limit of 21. You need 30% Canadian content in this league. So we need to make better use of our Canadian spots, I realize. Anyways, Doctors versus Sovereigns coming up. We are, of course, playing at Curry Field in Regina, a fictional version of it, because the real league, we don't have the mod for it, but you'll enjoy. Cardinal fan here? You better be here. We got a lineup intro. It's time for Sovereigns Baseball, which means it's time for the starting lineup. Batting first from Delta, British Columbia, Bill Larson. Whoops. Batting second, the first baseman from Groningen, Netherlands, Pim van der Nal. Batting third, the catcher from New York City, Jalen Craig. Batting fourth, from Kromstryen, Netherlands, a designated hitter, Mark Donker. Batting fifth from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, Miguel Vasquez. Batting sixth from Kana Johari, New York, Billy Cravens. Batting seventh from Santo Domingo, Hector Flores. Batting eighth from Beaverton, Oregon, Jay Caminero. Batting ninth from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Bob Andrew. And tonight's starting pitcher from Apeldoorn, Netherlands, Marcello van Eck. Oopsie poopsie, I forgot to put Bill Larson in to my lineup over Will Sutherland. That has been rectified. Today's broadcast is powered by Steam Whistle Beer. If you're going to do one thing really, really well. Not a sponsor, just what I'm sipping today. It is gorgeously sunny here in Mississauga. And Van Eck starts off with a strikeout. Here's Oscar Tovar, center fielder. Grounded to first, gobbled by Van der Nol. Easy play there for Pim. He's sticking around next season. 16 home runs. I mean, yes, I know Honkball Hoofdklasse is a massive dead ball league. In 86 games here, he has hit more home runs than in, 5 seasons with Kinheim, and I'm not sure where the other team is. Bill Williamson, so named because calling someone William Williamson is just cruel. 1-2-3 inning for the Doctors. Charlie Liu from High River, Alberta, getting the start here. Larson, Vandernal, Craig, trio of switch hitters, getting things rolling. And Larson works the leadoff walk. Vandernal with a strikeout. The one knock against Liu is that control factor, but he makes up for it with overpowering stuff. Strikes out the side after the leadoff walk. Leadoff walk now for Wilfredo Dye. 1-2 on the way to Van Eck, from Van Eck to Quarles. That's line straight up the middle. First and second, nobody out. Here's Edwin Gonzalez. 0-1 on the way. Shows bunt and misses. That's a block by Jalen Craig. Full count. And he's aboard. What a terrible at-bat there from Van Eck. Bases loaded, nobody out. Alberto Scarcella. 1-1 on the way. Hit to center field. Caminero lines it up. Throw is going to be into the cutoff man. And the runners do not advance. Nate Berry, the catcher. 0-2. Line the opposite way. That's up against the fence. Beats the shift. And that's a 2-run double for the Docs. Caleb Greason, 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, Van Eck. Picks up his second strikeout of the game. Carlos Jewell, second time batting. Strikeout victim. And that limits the damage. Vasquez Cravens Flores now up against Liu. Vasquez deep to left, carrying long enough for Jewell to bring it in. Line to right, that is foul. Cravens, 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss on a pitch way outside. Bouncer to first. Infield single. Greason couldn't make the play. Hector Flores aboard for Jay Caminero. Gotta love the exit velocity on that. What was it, minus 90? Minus 32. Just straight down. I was practicing pitching myself earlier. Don't have a softball game this week, so I was working on pitching, making sure I could consistently hit the strike zone. It is very much a work in progress for me. Quarles to right. Cravens Over his head. Oh, no. And the run will come around to score. Wilfredo die. Oh, never mind. Die holds at third. 2-2 on the way to Edwin Gonzalez. Bounce to third. Vasquez throw on the money. Good play there by Vandernal to bring it in. Bob Andrew then top here. 95 miles an hour from Lou. 5 strikeouts so far. Larson makes it a 1-for-1 day. First hit of the game against Lou. That's drilled to left center field. That's going to split the outfielders. Pim Vandernal showing off a little gap power. And it's an RBI double to cut the deficit to 1. Here's Jalen Craig, the catcher. Bounce to first. Greason. Odd throw, but he's able to loft it to Lou. 2-out runner at third for Donker. Lifted to left. Deep. Carrying. Gone! Where is my horn on that? I have a custom horn. I'm going to play it myself if I have to. And just like that, the Sovereigns take a 3-2 lead. Vasquez continues the hit parade. That's up the middle for a base hit. Donker with his 14th home run. Such a frustrating player. Gotta love the home run to fly ball and barrel rates, but everything else is yikes. Chopper up the middle from Billy Cravens. Lou fields it himself. And a 3-run third makes it Regina 3, London 2. Van Eck with 6 strikeouts. He's going punch for punch with Lou today. Fly ball to center. Caminero tracks it down. 2 away. Greason, the 2-2 count. Swing and a miss. 7 Ks for Van Eck. Flores to deep center field. Barely budging his Tovar, and he makes the grab. Caminero, 1-2 on the way. Bouncer to third. Not much action over there for Scarcella. Easy play. And Bob Andrews swings at a pitch in the dirt. Van Eck says he's good for one more inning. Inside, ball 4. 4 walks for Van Eck. They haven't come back to burn him yet. 2-2 on the way. Grounded to second. And that'll be a double play. Larson to Flores on to Vandernal. Means the bases are clear for Bill Williamson. That's a 5th walk. That'll bring up action in the bullpen. Otis Bolduc getting loose. 2-2 on the way. Called strike 3. Vandernal holds down the fort. Larson on a 3-1 count. Will ground out to second. Die with a good play. Here's Vandernal. High and outside for ball 4. Here's Craig. Popped up high to right field. Not deep enough for Vandernal to advance on Quarles. That's what Donker does. 7 Ks for Lou. Otis Bolduc from Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia will get the 6th here. Two for two Quarles. Chopper to second. Easy play there for Larson. 1 away. Larson can't find the handle on this one. An error which brings up Scarcella. Popped up to center field. Caminero makes the grab. Throw to first. Was that in time? No. That was a close play. 3-1 to Barry. Ooh, and the 3-1 count plunks him. Bolduc giving him the stare down. First baseman Greason. 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Bolduc gets us through the top of the 6th. Vasquez, Cravens, Flores. Vasquez lines this to left, hangs up long enough for Jewel, 1 away. Cravens now. Tim Nixon into the game, replacing Charlie Liu. And he's welcomed with a loud fly ball to right. Hangs up long enough for Quarles, though. 2-1 on Hector Flores. Drill deep to right field. That's going to scrape the wall. (4-2) Regina over London. A crucial insurance run here. Ron Herbert from Quebec City coming in. Should probably get a defensive sub in. Do we want Pfannenstiel? Not Will Sutherland. Oh, actually... yeah, we're going to get Pfannenstiel in at second. Multiple defensive changes coming for the Sovereigns. Foster Hoffman checking in right. Vince Pfannenstiel taking over at second. Pablo Garza taking over behind the plate. Sovereigns looking to keep this lead. And Hoffman is going to watch this one sail out of here. Carlos Jewell, 10th home run of the season. On the 3rd pitch from Herbert. A quick mound visit to talk to the 7th inning man for the Sovereigns. Able to do us a strikeout of Bill Williamson. 0-2 on Die. Bouncer to third. Vasquez to Pfannenstiel. On to Vandernol. And a double play to send us to stretch time here at Curry Field. We'll see a pinch hitter here for Bob Andrew. Kevin Rosenthal checks in. Swings and misses on a splitter outside. Pfannenstiel, first at bat of the game. Pops this up, leaning towards third. Easy play for Scarcella. Here's Vandernol, the first baseman. On an 0-2 pitch, line to right field and down for a base hit. And it gets past Quarles. Vandernol with an advancement on error. And Pablo Garza now with a chance to drive him in. Nope. Rosenthal will give way to Arlis Ben Isak. And it'll be Jake Summers coming into the game here in the 8th. Quarles, Sanchez, Scarcella up for London. Quarles floats one the opposite way. 3-hit day for Sheldon. Here's the shortstop, Carlos Sanchez. Drilled to third. And booted by Vasquez. Oh no. Bad throw by Vasquez, and now there's first and second with nobody out. Scarcella tried to bunt. That's not going to work. That ball is fair and into the corner. Blown save, Jake Summers. And we are tied for Nate Berry. Popped up on the infield. Coming in is Vasquez. One away. Greason, the first baseman. 0-2 on the way. Popped up again. This one picked by Flores for the second out. 2-2 to Jewell. Straight up the middle. Flores. Automatic as they come. Donker, Vasquez, Hoffman up against Omar Tramble. Donker shoots this to second. Easy play there by Dye. Vasquez with the costly error last at bat, or last inning. Here he'll ground out to the shortstop, Sanchez. Big growth opportunity. I mean, at 25 years old, you're not sure if that potential will ever get met, but worth a shot. Foster the Hoffman. Works a walk. He's speedy too, Flores. Can't get it past Scarcella. Somers will give way to Brett Thomas, the closer. From Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey. Wasn't supposed to be the closer, but all of our good pitchers got injured, so here he is. Chop to third. Flores throws it on. One away. Bill Williamson, 2-2 on the way. Fly ball to right. Hoffman tracks it down. 2 down. 1-2 on the way to Wilfredo Dye. Swing and a miss. Walk-off opportunity for the Sovereigns here. They'll have to do it against Pat Wider. Winnipeg, Manitoba boy. Caminero, Ben Isak, Pfannenstiel. Ryan Murphy unavailable. Luis Alfonso will get loose in the bullpen if this game goes to extras. Caminero laced to left field. That's up against the Home Depot sign. A loud leadoff double that Carlos Jewell can't get to. Jade Caminero, the winning run, standing at second. And we can't replace him with a pinch runner because we don't have anyone else who can play center field. Benisak squares the bunt. Taken for a ball. Bunted up the third base line. Sacrifice successful. Scarcella over to die. Winning run 90 feet away. Pfannenstiel with a chance to be a hero. Called strike 3. Can Vandernoel walk it off? They'll intentionally walk Vandernoel to deal with Pablo Garza. Good thing we have 3 catchers. Gary Chambers off the bench. Full count on the way to him. Swing and a miss. The winning run is stranded. Stan Daig will take over as the new catcher. Luis Alfonso will take over as the new pitcher. Joe Pitcher, the batter. That's an unfortunate name. He's not even a two-way guy. Caminero, whose double was stranded in the bottom of the 9th. Pinch hitter here, Mike Tarpey. Grounded to third. Vasquez from his left. What a play. And here's Scarcella, the third baseman. Drill to right. Hoffman tracks it down. 1-2-3 inning for Luis Alfonso right when the Sovs need it. Albert Preddy will face Donker, Vasquez, and Hoffman. This game can only go 12 innings before it'll be called a tie. Lofted to center field. Tovar makes the grab. Here's Hoffman. 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. To the 11th we go. Alfonso only needed 8 pitches to get through the 10th. Here he'll take the 11th and start off with a strikeout of Barry the catcher. Here's Caleb Greason, 0 for 4 today. Line to center field, carrying Caminero, makes it a 0 for 5. Here's Jewell. Popped up. Center field. To the bottom of the 11th we go. Preddy stays in to deal with Flores, Caminero, Ben Isak. Bounce it to third. Scarcella makes it look easy. Venezuelan Italian. Must get tricky around World Cup time. Caminero bounce to first. Throw to first is not in time. You pitcher couldn't make the tag. Caminero's aboard. Ben Isak swings and misses. Pfannenstiel now, 0-2. Line to center field. And it's missed by the center fielder, Tovar. Rounding third. Here comes the winning run to the plate. Not in time. Vince Pfannenstiel wins it in the 11th for the Sovereigns. Whew! How was that not an error, is my question. We head out east to take on Montreal and Halifax. Let's get to our next break day. Split the series against the Maroons. Drop the 2 to the Shipwrights. We got to start thinking about when our... what am I trying to say? What our roster looks like next season. That's basically, at this point, what we're just doing. We're playing out the string. Why did the roster expansion go down? Let's just disable that. Welcome in, Raiders from Max LP. This is the Saturday Sovereigns. My name is Tessuigi. And we are a bad baseball team in the inaugural season of the Canadian Baseball Confederation, an all-Canadian mod that you can download yourself on the Out of the Park forums. It is one of the ones I am proudest of because, as far as I can tell, it is completely unique. Although I will say the Hamilton Hammers is now the name of the AHL team that's going to be playing in Hamilton. I released my mod first. Go download the mod and make it a part of your save. So here you can see the Atlantic. It looks like most of the division titles are sewn up. Halifax still ahead of Ottawa by 4.5 games. The Hot Rods punching their ticket out of the Metro. The Doctors, who started us off, we beat them somehow, leading the Central. The Greats, 6 up on the Mosquitoes in the Prairies division, and we play both of those teams coming up. And then the Grizzlies leading the Barons in the Pacific. We do finally have one player on the leaderboards, and it's Pim van der Nol. We gotta keep him next season. We just gotta. Let's play that game in Winnipeg. Let's see how that goes. Oh, right, we gotta activate Roger Monroe. Who are we sending down? So Monroe is Canadian, so we can send down a Canadian in exchange. So it'll be Bolduc who heads down, Monroe who comes up. And let's get Monroe in as a setup man. All right, Alfonso's starting to figure it out. Credit where credit is due. So we'll keep him as our emergency relief dude. All right, Summers and Herbert. I don't think we can make them setup dudes anymore. Let's just keep them all in mid relief. Actually, let's move Summers or Thomas out of this closer role. Let's put Monroe back in it. There we go. That looks better. Kim Young-myung will be our starter in Winnipeg. At Shaw Park. Do we really want Craig to start, or do we give... You know what, let's give Pablo Garza some love. This is, of course, one of Flying Canucks ballparks. This is an actual ballpark. This is how it actually looks in Winnipeg. Flying Canuck, of course, one of the all-time greats when it comes to modding in this community. Normally this is home of the Gold Eyes, but now it's home of the Mosquitoes. "64 degrees in Winnipeg. Little brisk this late in September. Dan Bouchong, 8-6, 2.4 wins above replacement, a 3.05 ERA. Attleboro, Massachusetts. And Donker standing on third with a triple. Up your Donkers. Vasquez drops one into left. And the Sovereigns take a 1-0 lead. Bop! I am so happy that in Perfect Team that they released a second Bob catcher. Oh my lord. It took a long time for that to show up. The Hiroshima Team Redacted still doesn't have a second catcher, by the way. Fly ball to right. That's carrying. That's going to roll into the bullpen area. Jay Caminero thinking too. Chavaria couldn't get it. Miguel Vasquez scores, and it's 2-0 Regina.
Strike 3.
2 on for Vasquez, who's having himself a decent game. He'll watch strike 3 sail past, ending the top of the third. Bill Larson advancing to second. Drilled by Pim Vandernal to right. Chavaria makes the grab. Larson does not advance. Here's Billy Cravens. Line to right field. Chavaria is getting a lot of work. This one falls in front of him. That might be enough to score the run. Cravens sneaks into second. And it's 3-0 Regina over Winnipeg. Donker grounds to third. Denis with the easy play. Kim finally the first runner of the game for Winnipeg, getting to second. Grounded to third. Vasquez checks the runner. Throw on to Vandernal. 1 away. Haywood Perrone. Called strike 3. Kim, 5 strikeouts on the day so far. Bill Birch. First pitch swinging from Kim. Well, how do you do to Flores? That strands the base runner. A leadoff double for Knott. And a home run from Pim Vandernal makes it 5-0 Regina. Mosquitoes on the board with a leadoff triple and a single from Chavaria. Brett Thomas getting loose in the bullpen. Rick Earl. Hard hit through Larson and into second. Or into center field. Throw first to third. Off the line. Runners at the corners now, and now the tying run is standing on deck. That'll be the end of the day for Kim. Brett Thomas in to face Jeremy Beers. Popped up on the infield. Vasquez makes the play, 1 away. Ryan Nunez. Fly ball to center. Caminero chasing it down. 2 down. But the run will come in to score. We're in a safe situation now. Diosville Vargas. Line to center field. That one will hang up long enough for Caminero. The 2 runs will score. Charge to Kim. Somers in for the bottom of the 8th. He gives us a clean sheet. Roger Monroe now. Closer into the game. Pfannenstiel will take over at second. Hoffman will take over for Cravens at right field. Ball game. Steal one from Mosquitoes. Nicely done. And in a 10-inning affair, because our bullpen blew it, Somers. Splitting a series against the Sovereigns. We are against the Rebels. We are eliminated. Plenty of talent available in the draft pool. Some pop in Jeff Curran. Ed Carroll as a possible franchise catcher from UBC. The mock draft has us taking Dave Muir. I could see that. Pesky batter for sure from University of Guelph. Projected to go first, Cam Winman. I mean, it's right in his name. I am going to fix the typo in his nickname, though. I mean, that's a quality bat. Maybe not even at the major league level, that's quality. Frank Clark also looks like a dominant DH type, also from UBC. Jerry Lodge. Speedster. Oh my word. Some really interesting, a lot of power bats. And then you got a defensive stud like Kurt Spracklin here. We may have our choice. Omar Reed looks like he could be a strong defender from Brock University. Lidstrom, agreed. The thing I want to watch for, though, is I don't want our players to suddenly become so good that our league dominates. I may have to tune the player generations a little bit. Let's head to Calgary for a game. Tom Bates up against the Barons at Foothill Stadium. Cravens on a bit of a burner lately. Another Flying Canuck product. If these all look like minor league ballparks, that's because they are. Clearly the Saints can't even play in the Sky Dome. Ditto for the Maroons, they're in Parc Labat as opposed to the Big O. Solo shot by Brad Lowther. And all of a sudden, the Barons are up 1-0. Bates getting into a little bit of trouble here. Fly ball to right, long run, but Cravens makes the grab. Yeah, Billy C is not a right fielder by any stretch. He's probably going to be our DH next season. Jay advancing to second after 2 outs. Von der Knoll shoots it straight up and down. Jonah Duff works the walk. 2 walks issued so far by Tom Bates. That'll bring up Jeff Meek, the center fielder. Meek, he isn't. That thing is gone! 456 feet. Now, what is that in meters is my question. Mamma Mia Pizzeria. Well, I've seen enough. Gotta remember, Taswiji, your goal is to finish the season. You can't do that playing out every single game. We'll do one against Edmonton, though, because that's another ballpark in Flying Canuck I want to show off. Man, even the Daredevils are scoring off us. Vicente Rubio here at Remax Field. A little chilly, 45 degrees Fahrenheit here. This is a day for long sleeves in Edmonton. Either that or I need to start taking global warming into account. Ooh. Lamehov gets plunked. Here's Al Nieves. Grounded to short. Flores ends the bottom of the first. Sutherland watches strike 3 sail past. Vicente Rubio on one today. Another solo shot, this one by Backhouse. Kim, not quite as sterling as he was last time up. Flores still as automatic as they come, though. Lamehov, dangerous. This one's hit to center, though. Caminero brings it in for the second out. Well, that wasn't Caminero. That was Hoffman. And you got to respect Hoffman's arm. Bouncer, going to be a tough play. No play. Gary Chambers can't fire it, and it's 3-0. Very high and tight. Van der Knoll watches that one sail past. Here's Craig. Craig goes the other way. Deep, but playable. Oh my goodness, what a catch. Lamehoff. Is there anything this guy can't do? And Craven strikes out. We're going to quick play the rest of the game. We almost come back, and then Langton walks it off of Summers. Arg. I think I need to adjust the start date of next season. So instead of starting like May 1st, we start a little, maybe like late April. Let's start. Yeah, let's move it to be April 24th. Move it a whole week earlier. Didn't we just have the draft pool? Okay, it didn't get regenerated, just the date shifted. All right, what's our home finale? Let's play that one. October 2nd against the Greats. Call Bolduc back up. Yeah, September has not been kind to us. We hung in like the first half of the season, and then since then it's just been a lot of flop sweat. Hanging on for a win against the Hurricanes 6-3. The Voyageurs on an 8-game burner, trying to make it interesting for the wild card. There is one spot up for grabs. The Tri-City Musketeers, ditto. They're also in the hunt. That's Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge. Hot Rods come to town. We muster a tie against them at least. Big Jim Sanford, pride of Oshawa. No wonder the Hot Rods are the best in the CBC. At age 25, do we really think all these numbers are going to come in for Alfonso? Open question. KBO posting some guys who probably will never be able to afford. Home finale against Edmonton. With Vondernaal tired, we're going to go to Donker. Let's make Craven's DH. Get Hoffman into right field. Didn't realize Foster Hoffman was like our speedy guy. That's pretty impressive. Chambers at second. This looks good to me. Lamehov to right. Hoffman tracks it down, inning over. Aaron Lowe, the pitcher for Edmonton from Montreal, Quebec. Only 4 starts. He looks like he's been pressed into service out of the bullpen recently. Gives up a leadoff double to Hector Flores. Bob Andrew, fly ball to left. Easy play there for Lamehov. Vasquez to right center field. That'll drop for a base hit. That might be an RBI. Vasquez will watch the ball come in. Flores scores. And Vince Backhouse injured in the second to last series of the season. Juan Ruiz taking over in right field. The exact thing you do not want to happen. Justin Purchase was one of the players that the Sovereigns were trying to chase after. Hoffman up against the track will bring this in. Good throw! Not in time. Owens barely makes it in ahead of the throw. And a wild pitch by Kim ties the game up. Juan Ruiz to left, over the head of Bob Andrew. Another RBI comes in for Edmonton. Juan Ruiz, the substitute, with a 2-out RBI double. And Joe Gemma makes it a home run. Edmonton piling it on here. Lowe mowing him down. 2 strikeouts and a ground out, and the runner at second is stranded. Okay, I've seen enough. Whoa, how'd that happen? Basically, as soon as I stopped watching, Pablo Garza with his home run, second home run of the season. Mark Donker with an RBI double. Cravens hit a solo shot. And with Roger Monroe unavailable, Brett Thomas will get loose. Somers trying to go for the 2-inning save. Caminero, leaping grab for the first out. Whew. Of course, it's Lamehov. Somers, the 1-2. Fly ball to left. Andrew tracks it. Ball game. Or Ben Isak. Regina picks up a win in its last home game of the season. And the Shipwrights have tied the Colonels, or the Colonels have tied the Shipwrights atop the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division. Last game of the season will decide who wins it. It will be the Shipwrights, but the Colonels are right behind. Let's take a look at the playoff tree. Because the Eastern Conference has more divisions, they also have a wild card spot. So it will be shipwrights versus doctors, colonels versus hot rods. While the Western teams, the Grizzlies and the Greats, wait for their chance. The inaugural winner of the Pearson Cup will be here soon. The Doctors sweep the Shipwrights. With a furious comeback in Game 2. Game 3, or the other divisional round goes the distance. 2 home runs from Jim Samford can't power the Hot Rods past the Colonels. So it'll be London versus Ottawa. Kelowna versus Edmonton. In a best of 5. The Greats have swept the Grizzlies. And the Colonels come from dropping Game 1 to power through and take the the conference round. A blown save by Kevin Birdsong. Love the name. But he scoops the win courtesy of a walk-off Bruce Music home run on the second pitch of the bottom of the 9th. Colonels versus Greats. Ottawa versus Edmonton. It goes 7 games, and the Edmonton Greats, the city of champions, picks up the win. Vince Backhouse picks up the Australian hero with an OPS of 1.039 in the postseason. Well, there you go. Okay, we're not getting rid of designated hitters. No, we're deleting that message. We are not doing that. There. Yeah, the issue is the ballparks tend to be rather small in this league. Kelowna's was sold out basically from the word go. And then you got the Maroons playing in a 38,000 seat ballpark. We've got good loyalty, so hopefully they don't mind a price increase of like 20%. So we can actually afford to sign guys. Improve team chemistry. Ah! Slacker, selfish players. Ouch. How did I not notice this? Of course it's all the Yankees. And it's because I didn't have player personality ratings on. So I never noticed that Marcelo Van Eck is considered selfish. We don't have a captain yet either. We got plenty of leaders, though. Oh, that's a familiar name. Oh, hello, old friend Oscar Munoz. I know it's a fictional guy, but so was the original. Hello, Stampede. All right. Let's figure this out. Who do we actually want to keep into next season? Pim is a yes. Conant. Very unhappy. Yeah, with 15 losses, I don't blame you. Glisten. Yeah, we're going to release him as well. Well, that reduced the player complaints. Clearly, it was mostly like the same dudes. Ron Herbert. Yeah, we're gonna let you go. There, we got rid of all the schmuckos. We'll get rid of Daig as well. I will just keep Marcello Van Eck. Put Brad Haley back in the rotation at least. Jimmy Olsen, aka Superman's best friend. Yeah, Haley was fantastic when he was healthy, so glad we're keeping him. Monroe. Do we keep Thomas? Well, I mean, positive wins above replacement. Bolduc we're going to release. Question is Ryan Murphy worth keeping? Do we think at age 26 he's going to hit his percentiles? I don't think so. Bye, buddy. This is how we free up money. Alright, Olsen probably belongs on the reserve roster, if anything. Well, we know what we need to do in the offseason. Fix our pitching. Alright, Sutherland has got to go. Jay, I love your defense, but you have to actually hit the ball next time. We'll let him walk too. Yes, I did just release, like, almost my entire roster. Call Gary Johnson back up. Well, we got our work cut out for us. We at least got Hector Flores manning shortstop. He's got that on lock. Yeah, we're going to withdraw offer on Bates and release him. Luis Alfonso, we expect to be a starting pitcher in due... Well, he's 25 years old, though. But he's also a top 10 prospect, so maybe he'll turn out. Definitely a dev lab option. Well, the good news is we can still use our rule of negotiating, at least on the guys with actual, like, worthwhile contracts to negotiate. Monroe and Vandernoel, we can bring those guys down. So, Luis Alfonso. Let's get you working on your off-speed stuff. My cat is trying to climb up into my lap. He just failed. All right, Pablo Garza. Let's get you working on your two-strike approach. Hector. My poor cat hasn't been able to figure that out. There we go. Quality contact. Miguel Vasquez. Two-strike approach. I don't think Pim... Yeah, Pim doesn't have anything to improve on. Mark Marie is pretty much locked in. Kim's got nothing to improve. Haley, let's give him some control. Take a look at the reserve roster. None of these guys are close, except Jimmy Olsen. Let's get Jimmy working on his pitch movement. So I'm curious what the difference is between secondary pitch improvement and improved pitch arsenal. One of their bad off-speed pitches, pitcher secondary. Maybe I need to swap Alfonso over to the pitch arsenal to work on his change-oof. Let's try that. Oh, that's not even an option here. Okay. Whatever. Let's see if we can get Craig to work on his catcher defense. Well, inaugural season's over. Edmonton, champions. No surprise there. Colonels gave him a scare, though. Took it to game 7. All right, Vandernol and Monroe have locked up. That might be the end of the majors coming in and grinding the stream to a halt. Jake Somers decides to hang it up at age 36. I'm going to miss him. Two Golden Gloves for the team. Hector Flores at shortstop and Jay Caminero at center field, who is now a free agent because his bat went poof. Gotta love the name Alex Rodriguez. Voyageur is off to a good start, picking up Koba Zielen from De Bilt in Utrecht province. From Kelowna in exchange for Tony Chama from Ciudad Guayana. I mean, Chama looks pretty good. Grizzlies trading from strength for strength. And that gets us to the first player draft. Make sure we save beforehand. We will be drafting 3rd overall behind the Daredevils and the Hurricanes. The mock draft has us taking Frank Clark from Shawinigan, Quebec. I would not say no to that. A lot of UBC folks available. Kurt Spracklin with a defense. Like, he could play center or short. Top pitcher Len O'Coin. No change oof, but a sink oof. That's interesting. Anyways, let's get underway. Niagara Daredevils will be selecting Jerry Lodge. A dangerous-looking center field speedster from Mississauga, the pride of Kitchener, Ontario. The Hurricanes will be taking Frank Clark. So we have a choice. We can either go with Winman. We could look at a Dave Green. A pitcher like Len O'Coin. A shortstop like Oscar Miron. Okay, way too much in terms of strikeouts. Ed Carroll looks really fun. Strikeouts, yes, but the pop and the eye are there. Lappin says, or is the most likely to contribute right away. Could be a new center fielder, but just has 0 pop. He's got gap power, though. I think we're going to go with Jeremy O'Malley here. Could be a first baseman, could be a corner outfielder, could contribute right away. Hang on a second. Where is O'Malley? He's projected to go to Hamilton, so do we really want to go that far off the board here? I do like the avoid strikeouts. I feel like that'll play up. One knock against Winman is the lack of good personality. O'Malley's the better defender, too. Right, what about Curran, then? No, I think my mind's set. We're going to go Jeremy O'Malley. And we will bestow upon him the nickname Alley Cat. Who will the first draft pick for the Maroons be? Cam Winman heads to Montreal. Windsor will take Andy King. The Rebels will take the catcher Ed Carroll. The Hammers will take Jeff Curran. The Suns will add Dave Green. He heads to Vancouver. The Yellow Jackets will take Miron. Good pick from them. The Saints, the Pride of Toronto, will take Kurt Spracklin. Barons will add Len O'Coin, the top pitcher in the draft pool. The Voyageurs will add Barry Lappin. The Musketeers add Rick Egan from Mississauga. Strikeouts are a lot, but the power is there. The Mosquitoes add Lonnie Drover. Good looking pitcher. Change-oof, yes, but the other 3 pitches look solid. From Mattawa, Ontario. The Colonel's first ever draft pick will be Roger Bork. Slide-oof, but maybe that develops. If not, you got a pretty good looking reliever. The Shipwrights will add Paul Hill, local boy from St. Mary's, Nova Scotia. Did their scouters just not want to go further afield? Kelowna adds Dave Muir. The Doctors, Ken McLaughlin from McGill University. The Hot Rods will take Spencer Dugan from Vancouver, BC. And the Pearson Cup winning Edmonton Greats will take Steve Ackber from Norfolk County, Ontario. Ooh, I like the look of Arnold Pinard. He's already got the changeup too. But he's a jerk. We don't draft jerks. Lidstrom's interesting. John Bartlett. Hey. I like Bartlett. Here we are in round 3. Looks like some fireballing relievers available between Jim Gowing and John Brett. We'll take Gowing. Now we're getting into some chaff down here. Barry Spencer as a second baseman. That I can get behind. From Seneca College. And the last draft pick. Let's go with Garland Bowman from Durham College. Now, the question is, can we fit in a long program for some of these guys? I think we're going to ask O'Malley to work on his pop. Generate some bat speed. So he'll swing in after Craig spot is taken. I wanted guys who can contribute right away, or at least try to. Get to ARB hearings. There's our results. Matt Barbara leaves, so the Voyageurs actually go into the negatives after briefly leading the war chart. Yeah, moving on from Conant was probably the right move. We can do better with our foreign player slots. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, Gowing we're probably going to send to the reserve roster right out the chute. And already we have some signings. Tom Bates to Oshawa, Ron Herbert to the Tri-Cities, Foster Hoffman over to Niagara. There's a few Alex Rodriguez's. So we have, like, only $4 million under contract right now. Maybe we need a salary floor. All right, let's look at this honestly. Actually, come to think of it, yeah, let's take a look here. So starting pitchers, Van Eck, Marie, and Kim. So we need at least 2 more starters. Oh wait, Haley, yeah. Get Haley into the rotation too. Alfonso was a disaster as a starter, better as a closer or as a reliever. So that's where we'll keep him. So we definitely could use some pitching. Some starters, absolutely. Defensively, I think Barry Spencer could play right away. Ditto for O'Malley. But we need a lefty, a center fielder, DH. So let's start with looking at starting pitching. How much do we want to spend? Ooh, Matt Hoffman looks like a good get. Or do we go with someone younger, like a Kip Kehoe? Oh, there's a Canadian option, Joe Bedard. Yeah, let's go. Let's give 2 years to Joe Bedard. 9 wins with the Maroons, who are a bad team, so I'll take that. All right, at age 26, you're not hitting those numbers, buddy. Do we go with Roberto Rios or Kip Kehoe? Rios has the better potential, but the question is, will he stay with us long enough? I'm done giving guys long-term deals when the numbers don't justify it. I'll say that much. Let's look at relievers. I know we got Monroe already. Okay, Chad Grimes is an option. Katsunori Kon. Have to balance guys who can develop into stars and guys who are already good pitchers now. Like Figueroa. At least he wouldn't get hurt. No, I think we're going to put in on Grimes. Catcher, is there anyone better than who we've got? Not really. And Boyer is not going to hit those numbers if he's already 26. Alright, I can see Waybright being a decent option. Let's go after him. Jernist Hudson. Maybe in the year 2067, Jernist is a real name, but that's weird, man. Looks like he was playing in the K with Chongok Colonels. We don't need a third baseman. We've got Vasquez. We don't need a shortstop. We got Hector Flores. Let's look at the outfielders. Okay, Joe Slater. I can talk myself into a Joe Slater. Ooh. No, we need a defensive guy. Throw some money to Paul Kenner. See if he can stick around. Let's put in 2 years with Noah Rametta. Trying to not to lock up too many guys to major contracts. Yay, Alley Cat was able to sneak in. Go throw some money Jordan Malone's way. Keep the Colonels from signing him. I mean, Hargrove could probably be a DH type. Let's go ask on Gareth Rigush. All right, we got Grimes, we got Rametta, and Kenner. Grimes is going to join a very depleted bullpen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need 2 more Canadians on the roster in order to be compliant with the rule. I think we've given enough offers to those to qualify. Let's save our money to see if we have to fight off any other suitors. All right, and we get Rigush and Malone. Or we get Rigush at least. Thanks to that, we don't have to rush Pablo Garza, so we can send him down to the reserve roster. Joe Bedard wants to go to the Wings. Let's make it 5 years with an opt-out after year 2. We need pitching. We don't have anyone on the All-Star ballot because we just started the league. All right, we got Way Bright as a super utility dude. We got Roberto Rios. That's going to be a huge boost to our pitching staff. So now we don't have to stress out Luis Alfonso. We can send him down to the reserve roster. There's old friends Larson and Chambers who don't want to talk to us anymore. Understandable. And now I'm thinking we go crazy and we offer Jernest Hudson some of our hard-earned cash. Not that Barry Spencer couldn't compete, but Jernest is that good right now. I mean, if you're not going to spend money on guys like that, what are you going to spend money on? Go after Jose Gonzalez, maybe? Kikuo Maruyama? Why not? Nice to see the Japanese players are starting to become available, so we can go get a Yoshio Maruyama. Maybe they're brothers. Oh, one's Maruyama, one's Murayama. Aha. I see. So the other options would be someone like Angelo Gama. I mean, we do need an outfielder. And a DH. So let's compare Burrows and Angelo. Yeah, I don't trust the potential here for Burrows at age 29. That's not happening. Maybe we do run Barry at second. Skip on Jernest and go after Angelo? Have money, we'll do stupid things. All right, we got Gordon Malone. Trade proposal. Edwin Trujillo for Johnson and Haley. That's a no from me, dog. Doctors want to send Wilfredo Dye. I mean, he was definitely a good player, but I don't think so. Take a look on the trading block, see if anyone else. Vancouver wants to get rid of Brian Tuff. A lot of interesting players available on the trading block. How are we doing Canadian-wise? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can take on more foreign players. Adelman seems like a fun get. Vargas is a two-pitch guy. No, it's got to be Raul Herrera from Windsor. When a pitcher like Raul Herrera comes available, you say yes. So now we got Kim Herrera, Haley Van Eck Rios, and Mark Murray can pitch out of the bullpen. And we still got offers out to Bedard, Maruyama. Might actually be out on Bedard. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have too many starters, but does he look better than Van Eck right now? Or Roberto Rios? We'll see if Bedard comes in. I don't feel comfortable extending him any more money. Let's put it that way. All right, we got Yoshio Maruyama joining the team from Japan. Quebec goes out and signs Keith Reese. Dave Glisson heads to London. We're going to shock a few folks by dropping a few $1 million on a couple guys. Okay, you know what? We're going to walk away from Joe Bedard. Joe Slater joins the team as our new right fielder. Or left, with Jerry in right field. Yeah, we definitely need a better center fielder. I mean, Rometta will do the job. I missed Caminero. Maybe we shouldn't have cut him. Oops. It's a shame we can't cut Van Eck. But at least if he falters, we got Malone able to join. Third in the war gain list. Who's tops? Daredevil's going out and acquiring Jesus Linares from the Hurricanes. Freddie Gagnon from the Rebels. Signing Roger Conant. Yeah, they did pretty good. Barons adding 2 players from London. Jamie Slade, Wilfredo Dye for Ed Fleming. When a pitcher like Raul Herrera comes available, you say yes. And now we wait for the rest of our offers to come in. Gama, Murayama. I mean, Murayama would just be icing on the cake, and then we could trade away Marcello Van Eck, try and get something for him. Hey, Hollywood Ty, good to see you. Breeze, ditto. We drafted 3rd overall. We got Jeremy O'Malley, who's going to leap right to the CBC. Loving some of the names here. Bubba Basinger. Yes. Yeah, Gama could be our left fielder or our DH. Oh, now some big contracts are being handed out. Jerry Hall to Niagara on a $2 million deal. He becomes the first multi-million signing in CBC. Joe Bedard has the biggest contract given out this offseason. He heads to the Hurricanes. Lee Hyun-jun got signed while on military service. Willie Medina heads to the Musketeers. Jordan Hernandez, fresh out of Cuba, goes to the Shipwrights. And here I thought we would actually, like, break a record here. But we got Maruyama and Gama. Gama DHing absolutely makes sense. Wainwright at second, so we can send Barry down to the minors maybe, or to our reserve roster. We definitely need some backup infielders. We have 30 players on the roster spots. We can work with this. And Rigush, yeah, between Greg, Bartlett, and Rigush, we're good on catchers. Let's get another third baseman. I think that's the biggest miss we have right now. Ooh, Mike Helton. Helton Skelton? So with the signing of Maruyama, we can definitely move Van Eck out of the rotation. So now we got Maruyama as our ace, Herrera second, Myung third, Haley fourth, Rios fifth. That's That's a vastly better rotation than we had last year. Go grab Kevin Samuel to help out the bullpen. A lot of players clearly don't want to play in the CBC yet. David Gardner here wants $55 million. Wow. Oh yeah, we should hop over to the majors and see who won. They expanded to 36 teams, by the way. Twins beat the Braves in a rematch of 1991. Desperados made it to the LCS. Yeah, we could definitely stand to get some more pitchers. We're at 13 and 13 batters, so... another infielder, maybe another outfielder as well. Love the name, Kichijo Bullock. Go after some prospects like Ricardo Valdez, Carlos Cardona. All right, frustrated, frustrated, frustrated. On track, on track, on track, and frustrated. Let's think about this. Garza and Willie G are both closest to missing out. So I'm going to pull them. And let's see if we can't squeeze some additional defense out of our guys, like Remetta. There we go. Now, of course, we don't have international amateurs in the CBC. All right, we got Samuel, we got Ricardo Valdez to help out in the bullpen, or in the minors. It's nice when you actually can afford to pay your guys. Mike Helton as another utility infield dude. Much appreciated. Oh, looks like he's going to start over Waybright, potentially. Okay. Kurt Myers for Marcello Van Eck. I mean, I'm glad that Marcello is drawing trade attention. Myers is not the dude I want, though. There's the guy we traded to Hamilton, Victor Gonzalez. Dave Pickerel. Yeah, I still feel like we could use Van Eck. Carlos Cardonia heads to the reserve roster. I'm going to need a short break, folks. I will be right back. At this point, the plan is to plow through the offseason and get to opening day 2068. It's a little bit of a longer stream than usual, but not for nothing. All right, Ben Honey for Van Eck. Yeah, sure. Van Eck is now someone else's problem. And Honey can probably be our backup first baseman. And whoops, we are now the highest payroll in the league. How did that happen? Ah, right, going out and signing Gama and Maruyama. That'd do it. No improvement on Slater or Rometta's defense, so let's go get Honey to learn a new position, see if he can't figure out this whole first base thing. Do you have anyone else who could turn into a decent base runner? Pim, you feel like doing some base running? Get Mike Helton on the same program. See if Barry can work on his infield defense. Well, at least we only have one selfish player now. Ideally, someone steps up and becomes a team captain out of the gaggle of leaders that we've got on the roster. Oh, Honey, yeah, learning first base, awesome. Oh, no! No, not my first round pick! No! O'Malley's getting guru'd! Ah! Well, we made it to March and the preseason. Oof, we lost half of our season ticket base. That's not good. Let's at least increase our player development budget. And we are starting the season on the road against Oshawa and Tri-Cities before opening the season at home against Edmonton. Oh, good. The season ends in September now. Good, good, good. So moving the week earlier was exactly what the doctor ordered. Let's get to spring training. Now, actually, in spring... Uh-oh. O'Malley's back from India. Okay. Whew. So we got the neutral outcome. I've gotten a positive outcome once. He still couldn't learn first base. Phooey. Vendrenol with a base running increase. Nice. Oh, come on, Brad. You're so close to getting the excellent. Nice work, Betty. So yeah, we cut half the team, and then we signed a whole bunch of new guys, and The thinking is this will actually carry us to better results. The new sovereigns. Game seems to want to put Grimes in as closer instead of Monroe. Okay. Brad Haley excelling. Alfonso might excel. Let's see the results. Show me potato salad. Ooh, Grimes with a stuff and control up. Hey now. Raul Herrera with a control up. Love it. Hector Flores, BAPIP up. Nice. Brad Haley, control, potential, and current up. Very nice. From my alma mater, Wilfrid Laurier University. Jimmy Olsen improves his pitch movement. Lovely. Luis Alfonso worked on his slider. Current up by 10, potential up by... Alright, so he didn't work on the change oof, but at least he's got 2 positive pitches now. We are still projected to finish last. All that work and all that money for nothing. Because we don't have the triple threat of Langdon, Backhouse, and Lamehoff. We do not have... Okay, we got Ramon Herrera. Or Raul Herrera as a top pitcher. That's it. They're calling the Hot Rods to win 79 games, courtesy of Max Kreutz and Big Jim Sanford. We'll have to see if do we have a day off? Yes. We'll have to see if these come true or not. Monroe, ulnar nerve entrapment out for season. Well, Grimes is going to close now. Willie G, injured, diagnosis pending. Just get it all out of the way now, guys. Oh, that was what I was going to say. We should probably make sure on opening day that every team hits the minimum for their domestic player content. So far, Roberto Rios has definitely played well. Let's send a Chavis down. Send Gowing down. 17 years old is too young. Craig has not had a hit so far. So Honey hasn't done much. Let's put him on reserve roster. Neither of O'Malley or Stuckey have impressed. Kenner has. Cardonia, we're going to send down. Waybright. Yeah, at this point we don't have any room for Craig on the roster. Between Rigush and Bartlett impressing right out of the chute. Okay, I can get behind that. Craig to the reserve roster. Valdez to the reserve roster. I want to see Waybright start. Yeah, I'm not sure Bowen is our guy yet. Let's see if Rometta can do anything. There, now we only need to make one more cut before we get to opening day. Gordon Malone. Rotator cuff strain. Oh, that did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we'd have to roster Penn Stuckey to hit our Canadian player contingent. Or that we call up Cowley again. All right. We're going to go to a 5-man rotation, move Marie to the bullpen. Grimes as a closer absolutely tracks. Maruyama, ditto. Brett Thomas is going to move up instead of Mark Marie. That is a solid back end of the bullpen. Let's make Jimmy Olsen used more frequently. Actually, let's keep all of them. Let's move Marie to long relief. And our one lefty out of the bullpen. All right, so Waybright hung in there. Oh man, Miguel. That's a rough showing from our third baseman. Spencer didn't acquit himself well. Let's make Kenner our top pinch hitter. Then Bowden, Garza, Helton. Are there any platoon buddies we need to put in? Yeah, we could probably put Gamma in over O'Malley? Let's flip Waybright and... Well, you know what? Let's get to opening day first, and then we'll let our bench coach think of this. And no surprise, O'Malley failed to break the list. At least we have the top minor league system. I mean, Roberto Rios, a bunch of our draft picks are making the pros right away. Now we're projected to finish second behind the Rebels. That I can get behind. Nope, that's Edmonton. We're projected to be worse. That stinks. My bench coach really likes going with Helton over Waybright or Barry Spencer. All right, I'll trust him on this. And if Vasquez falters, we got Mike Helton who can take over at third base. Joe Slater in left, Gamma DHing. I'd rather have Remetta over Bowden. 65 outfield range, you know, that's kind of important. And then versus left, who's our platoon buddy going to be? Let's move Gamma into right. Let's give Bowden the start in center field. And who do we want DHing? Spencer or Waybright? Let's let Barry DH. All right, we'll see if money can fix the mess I made. Let's see what's going on in the world of Twitch. If memory serves, Yukadin Kazami will be up with Baseball Bingo later today. We're going to raid you over to... Oh, never mind. He's just about finishing. It doesn't look like there's anyone I can raid y'all over to. Gadzooks. Let's drop you into someone who's streaming the Rockies. New Year, New Rockies. Tyler P97. Not an affiliate, but give him some love anyway. More drops coming later, of course. The official channel will have the Saturday Showdown. Dr. Dynastic pinch hitting in for DishNet34 today and tomorrow. Should be fun to hear a different voice in the showdown and attempt to do the roll call. As someone who's done bootleg showdowns in the past, it's trickier than you think. You'll see me next on Wednesday as Saving Mike Trout enters the 2013 postseason as AL West champions. Fingers crossed we can deliver on our duty this time. Time is precious, folks. I'm grateful you've chosen to spend some of yours with me today. Firage, take us out. Have a great rest of the weekend.